Hi everyone, my name is Edith, and today my topic is click it or ticket. Now I'm sure many of us have used a car, but how many of you know that you're taking a risk every time that you use it? According to CDC, motor vehicle crashes are the leading cause of death among those aged 1 through 56 in the United States. Now in 2016, there were a series of events, unfortunate events. There were 10,428 lives lost due to being unbuckled. The other was that my cousin was a part of that event. He's the main reason that I'm raising awareness, and I want people to move towards action. After being personally affected by this tragedy, I want to talk about the problem, our current law, the opposing view, and what we can do. We know that vehicle crashes are a leading cause of death, but how many do you think were actually wearing seatbelts? The problem we face is the amount of vehicle crashes. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Association, of the 37,133 people killed in motor vehicle crashes in 2017, 47% were not wearing their seatbelt. That number is super close to 50%. So what is Colorado's law? Well, there are two seatbelt laws. There's a primary and a secondary. The primary seatbelt law allows the law enforcement to give you a ticket without any other offense. The secondary belt law states the enforcement officer may issue a ticket for not wearing a seatbelt only when there's another citable traffic infraction. There are currently 15 states that still have the secondary seatbelt law, and that's including Colorado. On a 9 News article named, "Is Colorado's Seatbelt Law Strong Enough?" it stated that states with primary enforcement, about 92% of them used their seatbelt. Now, year after year, Colorado's percentage is 80 to 86%. That means only 80 to 86 people per percent, wear their seatbelt. Now, I want to show you a video about a driver crash test. Let's go ahead and watch it.
That's clearly shown in our first crash test at 30 kilometers an hour. The impact isn't hard enough to release the airbag. Passengers wearing seatbelts can probably escape with a few scrapes and bruises. It's a different story for those who aren't strapped in. Andreas Nigling says without an airbag or seatbelts, both driver and passengers are totally unprotected. The head and chest hit the steering wheel and windshield. The knee and thigh hit the dash.
Now here we can see how wearing a seatbelt as a driver affects you, and if you don't wear it, you also see the consequences. The second video shows us the backseat passenger. Let's go ahead and take a look at that.
Also putting other people in the vehicle at risk. People belted in the front seat can be injured.
So here we saw that the person in the back that was not buckled pushed the driver even more to the front, even though they had an airbag. Now, this is relevant because in Colorado, if your driver's over 18 and you're over 16, if you're in the back seat, you don't have to wear your seatbelt.
Also putting other.
Now, with change also comes opposition. One of the points for refuting the law change is that there will be more racial profiling. However, according to the Community Preventative Service Task Force, they say that although differential enforcement based on race or ethnicity has been reported as a concern, studies that look for evidence of such differential enforcement found none. So essentially, We can't use that as an excuse to not enforce a primary law. Now, the other opposition is that the police will be spread too thin. Well, according to a bill named Primary Offense for No Seatbelt, it says that a survey conducted by the Colorado State Patrol and other states, they made seatbelt violations a primary offense. There is an average of 38% increase in citations for the first 3 to 7 years. After that, the average falls back to historical averages. So while there may be an influx, we also know that it's going to go back down to average numbers. Now, assuming we do place this primary enforcement law, what can that look like? Well, lives are going to be saved. According to Sam Cole, he's a spokesman for the Colorado Department of Transportation. He said that we know in Colorado that if we just increased our seatbelt use by 5 to 10%, we would save 20 to 25 people every year in car crashes. Now, if we don't implement this, then those people won't be saved and we risk losing loved ones. So what are some things that we can do? Change the law of secondary seatbelt law enforcement to primary enforcement. Reach out to your local senator and let's push and strive for a change. Another solution that was recommended by the NHTSA was to model seatbelt safety. I think as parents and adults, as teachers and grandparents, aunts and uncles, we have the obligation to lead by example and to teach our kids that safety is important and that it doesn't only affect them, but it affects others as well. And lastly, I want you to stay with this thought. I saw a post by my cousin's brother, and it said, "Shortest horror story. Please wear your seatbelt." The other person replied, "No." The last thing you need is to be affected by a tragedy like this. It should not take losing a loved one to change the law. So once this bill passes, please vote and wear your seatbelt.